facing the wrong way. I hope it works. I do want to walk you guys through this problem because I think that decimals and fractions are the ones that end up being the most difficult for us, even though we know how to do both. But because there's so many steps, sometimes people get lost. So I definitely recommend do not skip looking over this one, or this one, okay? So these are the easier ones, but these are the ones that we need the most practice on, so don't skip those. All right, let's take a look and see what they did here. Remember how we had like the distributive method where you would multiply the coefficient by both of the numbers inside the parentheses? Well, they used the Zakai method where you would divide by the coefficient. So instead of having 25 hundredths of a group of 3 plus A, they are getting rid of that 25 hundredths to make just one group of 3 plus A. So I'll show you what that looks like over here. We've got, instead of 12 groups of x minus 20, I'm going to divide by 12 on both sides. So we got that mirror method. Well, now I just have 12 divided by 12 is one group of x minus 20 equals, and then negative 48 divided by 12 is negative 4, okay? So now I've got to add 20 to this side to get x by itself, because now negative 20 and 20 just makes 0. So I've got x left over here. Add 20 over here. Well, think about if I'm at negative 4 and I go forward 20, it's kind of like different sign subtract. I'm going to have 4 zero pairs and 16 left over. Okay, so 20 minus 4 is 16, and I keep the sign of the bigger number because there's more positives. So that's the same thing that they did here. So they divided 25 hundredths divided by 25 hundredths is 1. So you have 3 plus A left over. And then I'm going to show you this decimal action because I know that's a little bit difficult for us. We've got 0 and 5 tenths divided by 0 and 25 hundredths. Well, if I move my decimal over to the right twice, I've got to move this decimal to the right twice. How many times will 25 go into 50? It goes in twice. 2 times 25 is 50. And with 0 remainders. So that's where they got this 2 from. Then of course they subtracted 3 from this side, so I have 0 plus A, or just A. And then subtract 3 from this side. If I'm at 2, and I go back 3, 1, 2, 3, I land at negative 1. Okay, different signs I subtract. Keep the sign of the bigger number because there's more negatives. All right, so that's the Zakai method. Let's try the distributive method on number 16 so that y'all can see that in action. Okay, so we've got 7 times n is 7n, and 7 times 3 is 21. So I've got negative 28 equals 7n plus 21. Well, I have to subtract 21 from this side and subtract 21 from this side. These are the same signs. I'm already at negative 28 and I have to go back 21 more. Same signs, add and keep. So that's going to be negative 49 equals 7n. All right? Now I divide by 7 because this is 7 times n. So I'm going to divide by 7 to get just 1n. And divide by 7. Negative 49 divided by 7 is negative 7. So negative 7 equals n. Okay, I'm going to leave this one for you to do on your own. However, I will go over, let's actually go over number 19 because the coefficient is on the right and y'all are used to seeing it on the left. But either way, it's the same. You have to multiply 2/5 times 3 and then multiply 2/5 times d, and then you can use your mirror method to solve it out. But I've already done it both ways, and I think that Zakai's method is easier. So I'm going to do it Zakai's method. Divide by 2/5. 2/5 divided by 2/5 is just 1. So I've got one group of d minus 3 over here. We know that if we divide by a fraction, it's the same thing as keep, change, flip, or multiplying by a reciprocal. So I'm going to keep the 30. I'm going to change the division to multiplication. I'm going to change the 2/5 to 5 halves. So whenever I multiply straight across, I get 150 divided by 2, which equals 75. Now, if you were doing the distributive way, this right here, there's something that you should do to keep it easier for you. So remember, we've got 75. I'm gonna go ahead and write that right here. I'm gonna show you a slightly easier way to think about this. 5 and 1 are already as simple as it gets. But remember, we can simplify at the beginning of fractions as well. 30 and 2 have 2 in common. I know 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 30 divided by 2 is 15. Okay? So 15 times 5 is 75 over 1. Either way, it comes out to be 75. So whatever way you think is easiest, go ahead and do it your favorite way. Now I've got d minus 3 equals 75. The opposite of minus 3 is plus 3, because I want to get 0 constants. So now I've just got d left. Plus 3, 75 plus 3 is 78. So your answer is 78. All right, I'm gonna let those be your examples for today, but I am gonna put the answers to the other problems up here. I do expect you to show your work to show me that you actually tried this. If you get it wrong, you should try it again. Maybe get some help if you get it wrong. T equals -2, and C equals -44. All right, good luck, test tomorrow.